Aladdin! Hello, Aladdin. Nice to have you on the show. Can we call you Al, or maybe just Din? Or how about Aladdin?
Aladdin to me is one of the triumvirate of Disney movies that sum up the Renaissance. You know, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, and Mulan. I've always viewed The Lion King as sort of the culmination of everything Disney's been trying to get to, but I don't think it really sums up everything that the Renaissance was at its best. And this was always a movie I knew that was going to be adapted. Like, I remember seeing him, like, I was wondering when they'd get to it. And the elephant in the room was always, well, the Genie. Because Disney hadn't really had a character as electrifying, as bombastic, as awesome as Robin Williams as the Genie. The character itself sort of transformed how we casted characters later on. Lindsay Ellis made a video pretty much showing the casting of Robin Williams as the Genie and how that later affected things like Michael Myers as Shrek. It's a great video. And coming to Aladdin, with what happened with Robin Williams, that was always going to be a big issue. Who steps into those shoes? Who takes on that mantle of this amazing character that Disney's never really been able to duplicate? They never had another character that is as fascinating, as hilarious, as energetic, as emotional as the Genie. So they cast Will Smith, who has been in fantastic movies, has been captivating, has been emotional. And here, I don't think it works that way. But that will be the last thing we talk about, because it's a bigger deal in itself. Let's talk about how this movie is presented. This movie is not Beauty and the Beast in terms of how I feel it as an adaptation of a previous work. It isn't. It felt like Beauty and the Beast really tried hard to try to match up, or even sort of pay proper homage to Beauty and the Beast. As they said, you know, we want Belle's character here to be like the girl she inspired, which was sort of a mistake in its own way, because what Belle should be is Belle, not the people she inspired. Aladdin here, it felt like they went in and said, well, the only real sort of problem with Aladdin is there's an awful lot of white people voicing these characters. Like, an awful lot. And that doesn't feel like culturally relevant, or at least quote-unquote appropriate. It doesn't really matter for the most part. Also, the movie isn't exactly visually in line with the culture. So they come in with this one here, and it's like, you know what? There's really nothing wrong with this story. It's great. It's a beautiful work. And let's just have fun doing it. We're just going to add some culture to it, you know. And that honestly was great. Visually, this movie is one of the best, I think. The acting is solid. There's no performance that I think is terrible. The only real problem is with how the characters themselves are. So, but let's talk about the musical numbers. Every musical number, I think, if I recall, with the exception of Jafar's, is there. And honestly, they're all right. They're all right. Everything I feel more the energy from these songs than it feels like, okay, they're doing a better job or they're doing a different job. It almost feels pretty much the same in some ways. Like, in a lot of ways, you can almost see they're kind of interchangeable. And that's fine. That's fine. If you want an adaptation, especially of musical numbers, there's not much of a reason to change that. The characters, though, are a bit of a mixed bag. So Aladdin here is kind of forgettable compared to the original, to the 92 Aladdin. There's a certain amount of confidence that appears to be very much an act from the 92 Aladdin that isn't here for this one. He sort of already put himself down. He's like, yeah, I'm sometimes smart, but I can't be me. You know, me is a terrible thing to be. Where I think Aladdin is proud of himself, but also battling the insecurities in terms of what he wants. He wants people to see there's more to him. Where I think this Aladdin feels there's nothing good to him at all. Then we come to Jasmine. So Jasmine is a slightly different character here. Jasmine in the original is sort of very set on marrying for love. You know, she wants to be able to do her own thing, and it's not her story. So, but to an extent, it should be, in part, more emphasis on her and her decisions. This movie, I'll give points to having it be that Jasmine thinks that she could rule Agrabah. Her dad is sort of very set on finding someone to marry, to take over. He doesn't really seem to think she could be Sultan, but then he's like, oh, well, you can do it. Granted, there's more of an arc to that. And the only real issue I have with Jasmine is her song Speechless. Not that it's a bad song, but how it's presented is sort of different from how every other song is presented here. And I wish Speechless had been done, or rather, I wish the Street Rat reprise had been done in the same way as Speechless. That would have added a better connection to Aladdin and Jasmine. The fact that they feel they don't have a voice. They feel that people only see them as one thing or one way, and they can do more. That's great. That does sort of play in line with the theme of the original one. Sort of the idea of being trapped. This is actually a really great scene.
Tell you where to go and how to dress.
That's better than here. You're always scraping for food and ducking the guards.
You're not free to make your own choices.
Sometimes you feel so...
You're just...
trapped.
And I wish that had been played more, because the concept of being trapped is, I think, the big theme in the original Aladdin. Aladdin's trapped. Genie's trapped. He's physically trapped. Jafar's trapped. Jasmine's trapped. Even the Sultan, to an extent, is trapped in the roles that they're set and the obligations, or even the consequences, or even just the downsides that come with them. And then we have Jafar. Jafar is Littlefinger from Game of Thrones. He really is. The difference is, this one here is sort of honest and upfront with how angry he is at things. Littlefinger defines himself with then Catelyn Tully and Brandon Stark. The duel where, hey, the smart, nice guy didn't win, so he's going to have to play by his own rules. He's going to have to change the game. This Jafar here is angry about it. He's climbed himself to a very high position. He's second only to the Sultan, and it's not enough. And like the 92 Jafar, he seems very obsessed with being Sultan, and I get why. I didn't quite before, because it does sound stupid that when you have a lamp and the ability to grant any wish, as far as he knows, any wish, sky's the limit, he essentially wants a government job. But what he wants is for everyone to acknowledge it, because he really could have just gone for a second wish, an all-powerful sorcerer, and be done. Add a wish like, hey, I can't, this can't be wished away, and free the genie. He could have been done. But no, he needs the position. He needs the phrase Sultan, essentially the title #1, to be almost divinely ordained. He needs everyone to see that he's the winner. And that's his downfall. That's downfall, because it's never going to be enough. And I like it, but he's just sort of dull. Even his rapport with Aladdin, it starts off interesting, but then it kind of goes nowhere. Also, there's no Gilbert Gottfried. There just isn't. There's no like that. You say that's Iago, but that's not Iago. That's not. I'm sorry, it's not Iago. So then we come to the genie, and this again was the big question. There was some backlash when Will Smith was announced, and I was kind of indifferent to it for the most part. Like, I didn't care. I have the 92 Aladdin. I don't, like, this new one doesn't do anything for me. Like, his casting doesn't affect that I have pure brilliance right here. Pure brilliance. And Robert Williams is the genie. Will Smith will do a Will Smith job, and that can vary, but honestly, he was a good choice. He was popular. He could do the job in my mind. The question was, what kind of genie would he be? Would he try to emulate Robin Williams? He honestly, from a comedic standpoint, he could never do that. And Will Smith's take on the genie feels to me like he's taken the character of Hitch from the movie Hitch and fused it with his character Will Smith in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. A big difference between Aladdin and Genie's relationship in this one compared to the 92 version is it sort of feels like there's more cynicism to Robin Williams' take on the genie, where, the only way I get out of this is if my master wishes me out. You can guess how many times that's happened. So, more than likely, the promise that Aladdin makes has been made before, or at the very least, he's thought, okay, he's gotten everything he wants, he's going to set me free, then it doesn't. With With Smith's take on the Genie, there's more of a mentor-student role here, sort of like a surrogate parent in some ways, as this Genie tries to guide Aladdin to getting what he wants, but also sort of guiding him to be sort of a better person. And there's also a certain different kind of vulnerability to this Genie in the fact that he actually is attracted to someone, and it sort of sells the idea that he's trapped in a different way as not just a prison with lamp, but that also means he can't have a normal life at all. Outside of just having to be at someone's beck and call, what relationship can he have with someone because of that? And it's really sweet watching him try. And it makes it different but also similar in the same way. But there's also more of a... When both genies find out that Aladdin's not going to free him, Will Smith's Genie seems kind of a bit more hurt than anything, but he doesn't quite act out in the same way that William's Genie is sort of like, hey, I thought we were friends. I thought you would have been different. And he's fed up, and it shows a much different kind of regression for Aladdin. That, to me, which one you prefer is a matter of taste for me. So the question is, what was the defining scene that to me said that objectively Rob Williams' Genie was better? It's not the comedy, it's not the music, it's not the song. I think they both do a great job. Will Smith brings his own special energy to it that works, especially for a friend like me. Prince Ali sort of miss a bit, but also very solid. So what was the scene? And it's this scene here. Let's start with Rob Williams.
What would you wish for? Me? No one's ever asked me that before. Well, in my case, forget it.
What?
No, I can't.
Come on, tell me.
Freedom.
You're a prisoner?
It's all part and parcel of the whole Genie gig.
Phenomenal cosmic power!
Itty bitty living space.
Aw, Genie, that's terrible.
But oh, to be free. Not to have to go, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? To be my own master. Such a thing would be greater than all the magic and all the treasures in all the world. But what am I talking about? Let's get real here. It's not gonna happen. Genie, wake up and smell the hummus.
And, okay, let's go with Will Smith's.
So what would you wish for?
No one's ever asked me that before. It's an easy one, though. I'd wish to be free. To not have to say, can I help you?
What would you like? Welcome to the lab. May I take your order, please?
Freedom. A wish to be human.
So, honestly, to me, Genie does the better job. Why? Because freedom here sounds the most important thing ever. And it is the most important thing. The ability to be free to live your own life is one of the most fundamental things to any experience, to the human experience. And Robin Williams' take on the Genie is when he says freedom, it means something. And it all even plays along with Aladdin, Jasmine, Jafar, and the Sultan, the concept of being free, of not being trapped. It works on that level. With Will Smith's Genie, is sort of like, yeah, it'd be alright. It'd be alright. And I think he's trying to sell it. But I think he's trying to sell it with his face more than dialogue. And hit or miss for me. But I think that's the definitive moment for me. Otherwise, I think solid, alright. Personally for me, Rob Williams' Genie will be, as he said,
Ever impressive.
The one contained, but never duplicated. Genie of the Lamp. Right here, direct from the lamp. Right here for your very much wish fulfillment.
Just that. And it's fine. It's horribly unfair to expect Will Smith to be someone he's not. Which also plays into the movie itself. Look at that. The best thing about this movie is they know they can't top the original in my mind. What they're coming out here to do is to just have fun. and showcase how much they love this movie. The love to this film, to the scenes, I think plays out well. Yes, everything isn't exactly right. Maybe this should have been a bit more, maybe one or two decisions could have been better. Maybe we did need Gilbert Gottfried. I think we did. Just have him in the movie. Was he in the movie? No, he wasn't. But again, I do appreciate the more emphasis on the culture itself. So that's great too. This might be, in my mind, generally the best live-action remake Disney's ever put out. Because it's primarily just fun. There's no real moment to sort of try to redefine something or try to explore an aspect that wasn't there before. Even the Jasmine thing is still in line with Jasmine's role in the original. So yeah, this is it. We've got our first proper, not really going to nitpick it hit. I mean, I kind of did, but none of those were deal breakers. It was just a movie being made. You could have honestly, this could have been the first one. This could have been first. This could have been the only Aladdin version. It would have been like, that's fine. Would it be as great as the original one? No, not in my mind. But I just think that it's a fun trip to the movies. It has the scope right. It has the atmosphere right. The only thing is some of the characters just aren't as great. She's great. This girl is great. I love her. I do. Anyway, that's enough of that. We've started rambling a bit, so we're going to bring this to a close here. If you're new to the Debug Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, check out some other videos, and I'll catch you all later. This is Debug Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.